What's up, y'all? This is Brave, and I'm back with another review. This time it will be Sistas. What episode this is, I don't know, but for some reason, on this show, they are still in the same day. You guys, I don't know how many episodes have passed where we have started in this same day, but ain't no way. We are almost to episode 10, and we are still on day 1. This is absolutely crazy. So, I believe that I watched 2 episodes, and I just have to get through a few things that irritated my spirit while watching this show. I'm going to go person by person, and the first person I want to start off with is Daniela. Oh, Daniela. I'm trying to understand, how is it that Daniela and her man got into an argument while on the job, because, they were on the clock, about how she did not want to do this program at work, right? How did she find the time to leave work, take a lunch break, y'all? And who happens to pop up? Him. I'm trying to understand, Tony, were you following her? Why did you happen to come to the same place? That's weird. But also at the same time, Danny, not only are you draining, but also Tony. Okay? Because I get it. He was absolutely wrong for signing you up for a program that you may not have been interested in. Like, I completely understand that. He should have spoke to you about it. He should have gave you the opportunity to say if you wanted to do this program or not. But at the end of the day, it was a good gesture for him to be able to, hey, I'm going to use my power, because I'm the VP, I'm going to use my pull to get you into this program. Like, he was trying to do a good thing. The fact that you're not being any parts of understanding is crazy. Now, one thing that I will say that Tony pointed out is that Daniela is absolutely not trying to reach her full potential, because all of her homegirls have leveled up. Andy is supposedly going to make partner. I don't see how, but we'll get there. She's supposedly going to make partner. Karen has a brand new salon, okay? Business looks like it's booming. What's her name? Sabrina, she got a new position at the bank. So yeah, Danny, you can absolutely do more. You can absolutely be better than just a girl who works at the airport just collecting people's tickets. But you know what? When I think about Danny, I feel like she's the type of person that even if she's doing a bare minimum, as long as she can still smoke her weed, get by barely doing any work at her job, she okay with that. She doesn't want a challenge. She wants things that's easy. And there's a lot of people who are like that. They're content. She got comfortable working in that position. So yeah, Tony, I don't know what you're gonna do with that. Now, when she was telling Tony how, it made her feel and how she doesn't want him changing her, here's the thing. Yes, he should not try to change you, but also, Daniela, at what point are we going to get better? Y'all know, I have an up-down relationship with all these girls on this show, but when it comes to Danny, I just feel like I hate the fact that whenever something goes wrong, she always has to hit her vape pen, or she has to get drunk, like how she got drunk in this episode. Like, girl, you see a therapist. Your therapist is not giving you any tools to help you cope. I'm trying to understand, why do you have to turn to a vice like drinking or smoking? And baby, that situation ain't gonna get no better. That's not gonna help at all. Now, like I mentioned, this girl was drunk, right? And then we saw another scene with her and Tony, yet again, back at the job. Back at the airport. I'm like, Tony, I'm sorry, what type of vice president are you that you didn't tell her she can't come back into work? Because from my recollection of watching this show, at one point, he worked for a different company at the airport. I could have swore she worked for one airline and then he worked for another. And then at one point, I think that they had mentioned on the last season how she was going to go ahead and transfer over to whatever airline that he worked for, because he was going to be like her boss or something like that. I could have sworn that happened, but either way, that man comes by her quite often. So I'm going to assume that they work for the same airline company. Sir, you let her come back and clock in? You let her come back and work the front desk? Why didn't you tell her to take the rest of the day off if you knew that she was drunk on the job? And for that reason alone, baby, we could go ahead and throw Tony right in the trash. Like, I am so disgusted at the fact the way he be flirting with her at work or whatever. And it's just like, it's so unprofessional. And if you've ever been to like the airport, right? The job that Danny has, everybody can see her. Everybody can see her, right? Because you are literally the face right before people are walking on board. Either they're onboarding or they're getting off the plane, right? So you have all these people who are sitting around, because they're waiting for their next flight. My whole thing is, how is it that Tony and Daniela are so up close and personal? And I'm like, who is working at this job? Because somebody should have called them already. Some employee should be calling them out already to be like, hey, there's something going on between the VP and this girl over here working the front desk. Or am I crazy? I would have rather that be a storyline, okay? And also, what happened to that man and his kids? He had a whole ex-wife on this show talking about how she was going to be stationed somewhere else, and we never came back to that storyline. Where is that at? Because for me, I feel like I would have liked that storyline more than this one. Like, I really would have. I get it. Daniela gotta have something to do. But this ain't it, baby. This is not it. I'm kind of over her and Tony. I would rather see less of them. But y'all know who I want to see even less of? Sabrina and Rich. Let's get over to them. Alright, so when it comes to Sabrina and Rich, first of all, Sabrina decided that she was going to go see what was going on with Danny because Danny called her and she was already drinking and she was talking about how, her and Tony going through blah, blah, blah. So what did she do? She come to the bar for her friend, right? Now, Rich had already asked her, can we go to lunch together? And she was like, no, I'm busy. How is it again that Tony and Rich were able to pop up at this bar or this restaurant? I'm a little weirded out by that because it's given y'all have locations on and y'all track them girls down. That's giving weird. But secondly, one thing that I really did not like was the fact that he was over there trying to cause a stir. Rich was really out here trying to act up because she wouldn't go to lunch with him. I'm just like, you are being so dramatic considering you have seen this woman at least twice today. At least twice at minimum. Because let's not forget, because we all in the same day, you were just at her house this morning. Then you came to her job. What the fuck do you need to go to lunch for? You done spent up so much of her time when she could be doing something else. Be so for real right now. And I get it. People are in a relationship. They want to be up under their partner. But dude, you're mad because you didn't get to spend a 30-minute lunch with her when you just spent all this other time with her. Go chill out. So then he goes on to talk about how basically he wasn't exactly on board with this whole process of the way they were going to get his sperm, right? And here's my issue with this whole storyline. The whole storyline is kind of whack to me because you have Sabrina. She is supposed to be getting her eggs frozen. That's what I thought was supposed to be happening. We done tried to gather some other man's sperm. Old boy who worked at the bank. That didn't work because Rich, he decided to whine and complain because he wants to be the pappy. He decides that he's going to give up his sperm. But I'm like, how is it that you two are not trying to have this baby naturally? Like, ain't even tried, ain't even attempted to have the baby naturally. That's kind of crazy. And then also at the same time, what's bothering me is that y'all ain't even got no real commitment. Like, yeah, he your boyfriend. But at this big age, Sabrina, I thought you would be making better decisions. Because why would you want to have a baby with a boyfriend when you could absolutely be trying to push this man to marry you? Like, let's get our priorities straight. I absolutely understand this idea that, you know, as a woman, you do have a certain amount of time for you to be able to have a baby. But honestly, in this situation, I would have rathered Sabrina's character had a baby by old boy at the bank. You want to know why? Because she wasn't in a relationship with that man. She wasn't in a relationship with that man. He said he already knew what it was. He would donate his sperm, and then she could move forward with it. However, this situation with Rich is not making sense at all. You haven't tried naturally. This man is over here talking about some, he don't know how the process is going to go, and all he got to do is dump in a cup. Like, dude, are you serious? Like, this girl just went through the process of getting, her eggs removed so that way she can freeze them, and you're sitting up here whining because you have to ejaculate in a cup? Are you mentally okay? Like, are we all watching the same show? Like, honestly, I would have rather this storyline went on something along the lines of, okay, now Rich says that he wants to be a dad to Sabrina's children. Okay, great. However, Sabrina, yes, you can absolutely still freeze your eggs, but let's get engaged first. Because I think that I actually want to have a solid future with you. Like, can we do something like that? Because I'm sorry. I just don't see Sabrina having a baby daddy. She doesn't give me that type of energy. But nonetheless, Rich, he finally goes down to the place so that way he can donate his sperm or whatever. And she had to talk him through it, y'all. Yeah, we had to suffer through that. We had to watch Sabrina talk him through it. And I was just like, you know what? I don't need to see Sabrina and Rich no more. No more after that scene. Because for me, Sabrina and Rich just don't do it for me. I feel like there's something missing. Again, I need for these men to take these women out on dates. I need them to go out on the town, go do something. I'm tired of them being laid up in their apartments. I'm tired of these men just being around to be around. And like, that's the energy that I'm getting from Tony as well as Rich. But you know what? We're going to go ahead and move on from them. Let's talk about Karen real quick, because honestly, it ain't too much going on with Karen. It's just enough. So Karen is at her salon. You got this girl screaming to the top of her lungs, roots to riches, wreck their edges, right? Her and her gang, because what's crazy to me is that girl walked into the salon by herself. Some type of way, she rallied up all the girls who were getting their hair done at the salon. I said, wait a minute. So what's crazy to me about this whole situation is that, Karen, these should have been some of your loyal customers. None of them had your back. Everybody agreed to old girl. That's a little weird. But next thing you know, Trey pops up. For what reason? He ain't helping the situation. I feel like Karen had no solutions. Neither did Pam. But I feel like Karen's character could have been utilized totally different in this whole scene. Like, we really could have got a scene where, everything is going on. You got these women yelling. She gets worked up. Next thing you know, she's got to protect the babies because she ain't feeling well. We got to get her to the hospital. Something. Like, just give us something. Because legit, for, 3 episodes? We had to hear Rooster Riches, wreck your edges. We had to hear that chant, I promise you, for 3 episodes. And there was still no solution. Because next thing you know, Marie comes in, and the girl who's acting up about her edges, she trying to come from Marie like, oh, I'm going to get, all this money. We can settle this out of court for such and such amount of money. I think it was like $350,000. All of this stuff just for her to have shaved her sides of her edges off. Yeah, Karen looked at her scalp and was like, girl, you shaved the sides of your head. Like, I see stubble there. You're lying right now. I'm like, this is so stupid. Like, we could have utilized these characters so much better than this. Like, so much better. But nonetheless, old girl ends up leaving the shop, and Marie says that, she wants an adequate business plan. She wants them to go over the ingredients to make sure nobody can potentially sue them and all this stuff. And I'm like, well, at least we are finally done with that girl yelling to the top of her lungs that Roots to Riches has wrecked her edges. Next thing you know, Miss Lisa shows up, Karen's mother, and they have this conversation just about Karen, the business, Andy, and her drama, and all the things, right? And Karen brings up the fact that, she got, interrogated that morning, and how, the interrogation, it kind of bothered her because old boy was bringing up the fact that she was about to be a mom of 2 babies that have 2 different fathers, and how it, it makes her look like she's this hoe and all these things. And her mom had to reassure her that no, that's not who you are. Don't let people try to, make you feel bad because you got these 2 different baby daddies or whatever. And I completely understand that whole situation. When it comes to Karen, I did feel really bad when old boy was interrogating her, because at the end of the day, none of that had to do with Gary. Not a one point that man made about her was about Gary at all. And it's like, dude, if you're going to question me about, Andy and Gary's relationship or something I would kind of know about. Don't try to throw it in my face that I got these 2 baby daddies. But my question is this, you guys. Where is Aaron? We are how many episodes in? Where is Aaron? Okay? Like, I know that he said that he was going to, play the back seat or whatever because he was doing too much. But I definitely feel like Aaron would have been the person to really come by and be like, oh my gosh, heard about the whole interrogation thing. Are you okay? How are, fully check on her. Nobody has checked on her because we sitting up here checking on Andy all day. And it's kind of frustrating that the girls aren't even really checking on each other how they should. Because even when the girls talked to each other earlier that day, because yes, earlier that day, they also went to Andy's house, it was still all about Andy. And it's like, well, but wait, y'all went through trauma as well, because you just had to go through an interrogation where the detectives didn't care about nothing that was going on, but they was going to drag y'all names through the mud, okay? Like, the detectives were gutter. They went straight to the gutter, bringing up all y'all dirty laundry. But I digress. Again, I do want Aaron back on the screen just to see where he at. Like, he ain't checked on the babies yet. It's kind of weird. Moving on from that. Oh gosh, I guess we'll go into Fatima. Fatima. I want you to do what you should have been doing this whole day. Your job. I just want you to do your job. Because that is something that you have refused to do all day long. I think it is crazy that we, number one, saw Fatima, in the front of the damn place, where the receptionist is, trying to make phone calls. Girl, why were you doing that? Then we see you in the conference room. You're studying on company time. And you're expecting Hayden to cut you some slack for that? Are you stupid? Like, why would you be studying on company time? Be so for real. Then, at the same time, I get it. Hayden can be an asshole. Hayden, you did not have to dump that workload on her. Like, y'all should be working on somebody's case and not having her go look at all the other stuff from the last quarter. But, Fatima, you have got to stop showing your hand. Every time you turn around and you say something to Hayden, you so busy worried about what Andy's going to do. And when Andy comes back, girl, you about to lose your fucking job, okay? In a minute, you're going to be the one that's out the door because you're so busy worried about Andy, who ain't giving a fuck about you. Because let's not forget, you were blowing up Andy's fucking phone. And that bitch did not answer. Not a one time. Not a one single time did Andy pick up that fucking phone. Oh, wait, actually, I'm sorry. She did pick up the phone. She picked up the phone and rushed you to fuck up off her line because Robin was back in town. He's her saving grace, and you couldn't tell her shit. But you so busy worried about Andy that shit about to backfire on your ass. Because here's the thing. Hayden may not be the right attorney for the job, but we not about to sit up here and act like Andy really be working. I don't care about none of them numbers that Robin was talking about, how she did so much better than Hayden did. I really don't care because at the end of the day, Andy barely works, okay? She barely works. But secondly, I think it is crazy how many times we saw Fatima, number one, have those interactions with Hayden, to where he has gotten her so worked up that she has to go home to her house for 3 seconds so that she can talk to Zach. She's made multiple phone calls to Zach. Zach has come to the job. I'm like, sis, when did you lean on Zach like this? This is too much. Like, I get it. You want to lean into your partner and let him know what's going on. But how is it that every time you talk to Hayden, you got to pick up your phone so that way you can call Zach to be like, oh my gosh, Hayden, he's getting on my nerves. As if Hayden is just, spewing things at you and you just sitting there on mute. No, you go back and forth with Hayden every time. I don't understand why you have to call Zach. This is the normal thing that happens between y'all. What are we calling Zach for? It doesn't make sense. Then again, Fatima, we see you go talk to Robin. At this point, this is the most you've ever talked to this man. Okay? Since he came to the firm, this is the most you've ever talked to him. You go over there and tell him all the things that Hayden has done since he's been away. For real, y'all, I don't even know how much stuff that man did. If we really want to be honest, Hayden ain't even done that much. Hayden has done worse in the past. Because let's not forget, yes, did he wiggle his way into the Marie Willis case? Yeah, he did. But let's not act like that man did not try to actually work on that case. He actually put in the effort. While Andy was late, Andy did not answer her phone calls. Andy was on some BS, okay? Straight up. And you want to sit up here and fend for Andy? Like, yeah, she may have won the case, but let's not act like Hayden, he didn't do a lot of work for the Marie Willis case. Let's not act like he didn't, okay? But you want to sit up here and go tattletale and go tell Robin, oh my gosh, this is what Hayden has been doing. Girl, what? What did he do? Talk trash to you? You talk trash right back. So it doesn't really matter. But baby, this is the kicker. Because Robin showed you that maybe you should just go ahead, keep your head down, and do your fucking job. Okay? Because Next thing you know, they talk about Andy and how, if he has any leads. Oh, baby, he has a lead. And baby, that lead is you. Robin is ready to set this up to make it seem like you're the one who stabbed Gary. Yeah, I know it sounds crazy, Fatima, but at the end of the day, you were so busy worried about Andy, worried about Hayden, worried about everything but what you should have been worrying about. And I feel like if you wouldn't have been such a busybody around the office, Robin would have never even probably thought of you being the one to stab Gary. I really don't think that. I feel like since you've been such a busybody, he like, why is this girl all over the place? She ain't never been like that before. Why is Fatima getting involved in all these things? Maybe she got a motive. I'm just saying. And at the end of the day, Robin definitely don't owe you no loyalty. His loyalty lies with Andy. So if he got to set you up to make it seem like you did it over Andy, he will absolutely do that. Now, y'all, this brings me to Andy Barnes. My God, my God. So we had to go through 2 episodes of her getting cussed out by Penelope and her brother. Like, what was that? Because I was so confused at one point. Like, I was really rocking with Penelope on a lot of it. Because she's like, Andy, you trifling, you messed up, you did my brother wrong. I was rocking with her. And then that shit took a turn. And she decided to talk about how, this was Andy and Gary setting her up. Why did they, come for this brother and sister duo? And I'm just like, wait a second. Like, how did this take a turn? Like, I get it. I probably would have fought Andy if I was her. Because at the end of the day, Andy, you are kind of involved in this mess. Okay? However, Penelope, a lot of this was decisions that you made on your own. For example, you brought up that girl that Gary supposedly did something to in high school. You brought her up, okay? And then when it comes to Jordan, honestly, I don't care about Jordan. I'm going to be completely honest with y'all. His character is one of the worst, okay? He talked about his life is in shambles because he can't run for city council or whatever. Okay, find something else to do. Move on. Again, don't really care about his character. But after we had to see those two go in on Andy, the craziest thing for me was when Agent Watt showed up. I said, now why are you here, buddy? That man showed up, going in on Andy once again, because that's just what he loves to do. But he basically tells her how somebody has drugged Gary. Yes, again, something is going on with this man. And what's crazy is that he has 9 lives like a goddamn cat, okay? Because it's bad enough. Remember, he had his little seizure or whatever he did when he woke up, but then he was stable. Next thing you know, they find that he has fentanyl in his system or whatever. And I'm just like, my God, like, who is drugging this man up? And what's crazy is that of all the people who have, been suspects of who it is, at this point, I don't think it's any of them. I would not be surprised if it's some random person who has a vendetta against Gary. I really wouldn't be surprised. But nonetheless, Agent Watt is literally trying to drag Andy out of the house because he's telling her that he's going to take her down to get questioned yet again or whatever. And who saves the day? Robin. Robin saves the day. He almost kisses Andy. And here's my thing. Robin, figure out where you stand. Are you going to be trying to get with this girl, or are you actually trying to help her? Let's figure that out, okay? Secondly, Agent Watt, I need for you to get something else to do. Get you some hobbies or something. Because the way you are coming at Andy Barnes is kind of crazy. As if you don't have any other suspects. Let's talk about the grand scheme of Gary's character. Gary has been a menace for I don't know how long. The man has just gotten his whole business audited. You know what I'm saying? The business was supposed to be going down. I have no idea what happened in that storyline. They just kind of erased it. But didn't he like embezzle people's money? So if he embezzled people's money, like, it's a bunch of people who probably feel some type of way about him. Anybody could have stabbed him. Which is why I kind of feel like that's what's going to happen. It's going to be some random person who tries to take Gary out. Now, what's crazy to me is that after all that has happened, right? Andy decides that she's going to call the girls over so that way they can come over and come see about her. My whole thing is this. Y'all have all had a day. Each one of y'all. Each one of the ladies has had a day. Why are we going to Andy's house? At this point, baby, talk to me tomorrow. We've had it. You have consumed too much of our day, Andy Barnes. And then for her to get there and basically tell them, because all the ladies show up besides Fatima. Fatima said she couldn't make it. I'm not exactly understanding why she couldn't make it. I'm going to assume that she's trying to keep her distance away from Andy and Robin at this point, considering he tried to put the blame on her. But the ladies are there, and basically Andy tells them how, oh my gosh, like, Robin tried to kiss me. I said, girl, that was the highlight of your day? Not you getting slapped in the face by Penelope? Girl, your priorities is all messed up. Because I would have started with, don't y'all know that old girl came over here and slapped me? Because she felt some type of way? That's how that story would have went. Ain't nobody thinking about Robin trying to kiss you, girl. Just ridiculous. But y'all, that was pretty much what happened on these past, I think, like 2 episodes. But I think I have one more episode to go and I'll be all caught up. So I'm going to go ahead and watch that one and review that next. Go ahead and let me know what y'all thought about these past episodes. How are y'all feeling about this season? Like, something's got to give in my book. But yeah, let me know what y'all think about it. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And I will talk to y'all in my next review. Bye, guys.